Brian Wright and the Spurs have done it again as we got new details on the Luke Kornet contract that make it even better than it looked at first. We have to dive into the detail that is just absolutely perfect with what the Spurs will be doing in a couple of years' time and how it impacts our salary cap table. But not only that, there was another trade that happened in the NBA that has a lot of Spurs fans talking about one particular player that will be available for buyout that would be a perfect fit for this team, and a big Dylan Harper update. A bunch of great stuff coming up on this episode of Spurs Digest. And we're going to start with Dylan Harper because, look, I know you guys are excited about Dylan Harper. I'm excited about Dylan Harper. Who is not? And we got here from Don Harris. He is told that we should expect to see Dylan Harper in Game 1 in Las Vegas versus Philadelphia. We'll play in a few, if not all. And this game is happening July 10th in 3 days on Thursday, 10 p.m. Eastern. That's the first game, first day of the NBA 2K26 Summer League, or the Vegas Summer League, because it's at the Thomas and Mack Center. So we only have to wait 3 more days for Dylan Harper. But the bonus here is that he'll play in a few, if not, we'll play in a few, not all. So, we wanted to see Dylan Harper in more games. I'm hoping to see more Carter Bryant here. I'm not going to lie. I thought that said if not all, which is why I got excited for this, but you can just pretend I didn't say that. All right, we good? We cool? Thank you. I'm hoping to see a bit more Carter Bryant as well. Hopefully within the Summer League still here in the California Classic, but the fact that we're going to see Dylan Harper in a few games is awesome, right? We didn't see Wemby in every game, and we know Carter Bryant didn't play in yesterday's game, which is why, I made that video on David Jones Garcia, which was pretty cool. Man, go check out that video from yesterday. It was a really, really fun dive into this player. You guys showed a lot of love on that video. Thank you so much, by the way. But being able to see Dylan Harper as soon as 3 days away just has this new sense of hype going through my veins, right? I just want to see him go out there, dominate. I know there's people say, don't put all your stock into Summer League, or do put all your stock into Summer League. Remember how many naysayers there were about Wemby during Summer League? Oh, he couldn't move anyone. He's not going to be great. They were not Spurs fans, though. We knew what was real, so I'm just very excited to see Dylan Harper. Just a quick little update for you, because I know we've been waiting for our Dylan Harper fix. There it is. Just got 3 more days to wait. July 10th. Get ready for it. We'll be covering the game right after as well, I'm sure, if not the next day, so stay tuned. And hey, on that note, if you're enjoying all these daily Spurs videos, just hit the free subscribe button. Like, it's completely free. We're here every single day with all the latest Spurs news, and if you want to stay up to date, this is the spot to be. I don't know anywhere else that's better. Thank you so much for watching. Let's dive into something very interesting. And before I dive into Brian Wright and how he pulled off a masterclass in the Luke Kornet contract, I want to just go over a little bit of the Spurs table right here. So Paul Garcia tweets out, with Kornet earning about $11 million. Again, we'll dive into the deeper details that are very interesting a little bit later. The Spurs are $12.2 million below the tax, $20.3 million under the first apron. We have $3.1 million of our non-taxpayer mid-level exception, which is the NTMLE, and we got $5.1 million of the biannual exception, which is the BAE, to sign free agents or acquire players in trade. So basically, $3.1 million here and $5.1 million there. And we have 2 open roster spots. So how are we going to fill them? Well, let's take a look at the roster right now. Make that a bit bigger. Turn it to HD. Make sure you do, or else you might not be able to get all the details here. But you can see what the roster is looking like at this very moment. Luke Kornet, that $9.5 million cap hit, is looking nice, to say the least. But that's the 13 players. We still need a couple of other guys. And there just so happened to be a trade that completed in the NBA recently. Now, I made a video recently, if you guys watched it, talking about some centers that could be out there for the vet man. I talked about Jock Landale, but he went to Memphis, I believe. And I mentioned a couple other guys, Chris Boucher. But there's a name that just came out, and I want to get your guys' opinion, because I'm going to be honest, I don't mind it, because there was a trade that went down just today. The Clippers, Jazz, and Heat have agreed to talks to send Norman Powell to Miami, John Collins to LA, and Kevin Love, Kyle Anderson, our boy Slow-Mo, and a 2027 Clippers second to the Jazz. And after this, in the fallout, you got Legion Hoops here saying, after being traded to the Jazz, Kevin Love is expected to agree to a buyout and will enter free agency. Now, it's 1 year, $4.5 million on his contract. It'll be an easy buyout. He'll probably be looking at the vet min market. So before I dive into why I think this is probably a good idea, I think a lot of you might agree, a lot of you might disagree. Leave your thoughts down below, but I'm here to make my case. And it's not just me. I saw lots of replies to this tweet, lots of replies to this tweet, even some other tweets from people themselves just saying, hey, why not? I got this one here from Spurs Argentina. I'll say it in Spanish and translate it to English. I speak a little Spanish. I'll try my best here. It's basically saying, ir a buscar a Kevin Love no sería una mala idea para tener otro veterano que tire de tres. So, it's not a bad idea to go get another veteran who shoots the 3 in Kevin Love. He could be a nice voice in the locker room, but he says, hay que ver cómo está físicamente. Lo único, hace mucho no lo veo jugar. He hasn't seen him play very much. We got to see how he is physically. So that's very true with Kevin Love. Look, I mean, he's aging. He's 36 years old. He's almost 37. But what he does bring is a voice. The players love him. The dude is absolutely hilarious on social media. The vibes with Kevin Love are up here. It's crazy, right? Having him around the team would be a ton of fun. And he can still shoot the three. Yeah, his three-point percentage was not great this year at only 36%, but most of his shots are threes, still 58% of all of his shots. But he's still a very good rebounder, great voice in the locker room, and can fill that kind of backup third string four kind of thing. And, you know, I know he's only 6'8". I think he was listed at 6'10" earlier in his career, but he can get boards. He can play he can bang his body there if he needs to play some center for minutes, stretch five, more like a stretch four. But again, considering the Spurs lineup here, where is it here? I'll make it bigger again. I don't totally mind this idea. I know we got, like, right now, according to Spot Track, we have Carter Bryant, Jeremy Sochan, and Harrison Barnes at the 4. And I know Sochan will probably start, and you have Barnes, and then you have Carter Bryant kind of split into 3 and 4. But again, Love is not a guy you need to play every night. He's a guy that can fill in, be at the end of the bench, be a great voice for the team, come in, shoot a few threes, get a few rebounds, and just help the team out. I actually really don't mind this idea, so let me know your thoughts on it down below. Are you pro or against Kevin Love? Am I crazy? I'm just saying, like, if we want another big body, this guy kind of fits the bill. Having that veteran presence is very valuable for any young team, so I think it'd be more than just what he brings on the court, so could be a very interesting addition. But again, this is all kind of possible. Well, it's not all kind of possible with the Kornet signing, though a lot of it is, because we did get Luke Kornet at a bargain, if you ask me, and I think a lot of you guys agree. I still think that's one of the better contracts that the Spurs could have signed. It fills a great need at center. He'll play 15-20 minutes a night. He'll block some shots. He'll ensure us if Victor Wembanyama ever has to take some time off the floor, where last season we had almost no rim protection. Now we have Luke Kornet. But there's a little wrinkle to this that actually makes it better than I thought. So Michael Scotto tweets here today, update: the San Antonio Spurs signed Luke Kornet to a 4-year, $41 million deal. Yeah, it's all made official now in these past few days, sure, because, you know, that moratorium's over, fine. Which descends, is fully guaranteed in the first 2 years for $21.45 million, has a third year $2.55 million partial guarantee, and a fourth year non-guaranteed salary. So why is this important? So the fact that it's descending in an era where, well, first of all, I mean, Luke Kornet is still, like, you know, getting a descending salary. You're getting his prime years at a higher figure, and then as he maybe starts to decline, you start to pay him less. Players don't always agree to that. Yeah, you see descending contracts somewhat frequently, but not always. But it's not just the fact that it's descending in an era where the cap is going up and up and up every year with these crazy new media deals, TV deals, stuff like that. It's the fact that after the first 2 years, his third year only has a $2.55 million partial guarantee, and that fourth year has a non-guaranteed salary. So essentially what that means is it gives the Spurs flexibility at that point, because what just so happens to be the case is that next year Victor Wembanyama is eligible to sign his extension, but it will only kick in because you can sign your extension a full year before anyway, you guys know that. You can sign it a year before it kicks in. Still, in that third year of Kornet's contract, where we go from the guaranteed $10 million salary down to only 2.55 guaranteed, that is when Wemby's contract, his next extension, which is going to be, I mean, look, if he stays on track to where he is now, it's probably going to be like the supermax that he can get. It's going to be something insane, right? It's a massive deal. It'll allow the Spurs to maneuver the cap a little bit better. Now, I don't know the specifics of what, you know, allows the money to be guaranteed, not guaranteed. That's a little more in-depth to the CBA than I know. But what I do know from this is straight up, when Wemby's money kicks in, we have less guaranteed to Luke Kornet, Wemby's backup, in that third and fourth year of Kornet's contract, or years 1 and 2 of Wemby's huge extension, which is going to be huge, let's be honest. So to me, this is just like getting a descending cap hit in the era where cap's going up and up and up every year, getting the one guy a lot of us really wanted to get, other than Guerschon Yabusele, who fits that perfect role behind Wembanyama, who's not going to be asked to do a ton, getting him on only 2 years of guaranteed money, with the third only being partial and the fourth non-guaranteed, at a time where the Spurs are going to have to get Wemby's extension. And then I don't think Castle's extension, I think it'd be in year 1 in that fourth year of Kornet's contract. It just makes so much sense, right? And again, you'll still have to accommodate Fox's extension. There's just some extra little wrinkles to this that I absolutely love. So leave some love for Brian Wright for these moves down below. I really like how this summer is shaping up for the San Antonio Spurs, and I can't wait to see what's coming next. Yeah, we missed out on Kevin Durant. Giannis didn't move, but these subtle moves, these draft picks, draft was such a success. This signing for Kornet was a success. I'm very excited to see what's coming next year. But leave your thoughts on all that down below. That'll do it for this episode of Spurs Digest. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for tuning in every single day. I've been your host, Josh Gosse, and I'll catch you in the next one.